Since the start of December, silver made new all-time highs on a daily basis and broke well above $60, currently sitting at $64. And in today's video, we are questioning if silver can reach $70 per ounce within the year of 2025, within the next 2 weeks. And before we start with our analysis, I would really appreciate it if this video is helpful or useful for your investment decisions, that you leave a follow for our small YouTube channel, our small growing YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. So today we are gonna make an analysis. We're gonna evaluate if silver can reach $70 purely based on chart analysis. Why? Because in my opinion, with my experience, 7+ years experience trading and investing and chart analyzing, I can tell you that chart analysis pays half of the rent. It's as important as fundamental and macro analysis. Okay guys, so today on my channel I'm an expert in chart analysis, I can tell you that. I'm also pretty good in macro and fundamental analysis of course, but today we are just going to check it out on chart analysis, because there are only a few accounts, or no really big accounts, that check out prices, commodities and price targets based on chart analysis, only based on fundamentals in macroeconomics. And as I said, chart analysis is at least as important as those two other factors. So silver right now is on a verge to hit $70. What happened with silver? In my last video I told you that I expect new all-time highs, obviously, but not that fast. Well, it happened within a few days after that. So silver, chart analysis 101, okay guys, this is a learning experience, so you know, okay. Silver was in a range, sideways range. So high, low. What happened first? We made a high, swept the low, retested the low, swept the high. Liquidity taken on both sides, alright? On both sides, longs and shorts got stopped out. We went to the mid level of this range, held it as support, a lot of wicks down inside, big wicks, which means that there is a lot of buying pressure, okay? There is a lot of demand. And what happened? The buyers absorbed all the sells and we pushed higher and never looked back at this range. So what happened right here, okay, in the start of December, the exact same thing happened, okay? But on a smaller, faster scale, okay? We go on a forward chart, same thing happened, okay? We had this high, it got swept. You can say, okay, we can take this high, it doesn't matter really, okay? We had a range high, got swept. We had a range low, got swept. Liquidity taken on both sides. Another range high sweep, sorry. So all the longs, the breakout longers, got trapped again. Probably got stopped on this, I would say, smaller crash on a lower time frame. Where did we get support again? On the mid level, alright? You see, big wicks to the downside, a lot of buying pressure, all the sellers get bought up from the buyers, and what happens? We break out and boom, we go even higher. So that's it, that's what happened on silver in the last few days, okay? Just normal range pattern, sweep highs, sweep lows and go higher, okay? Because why do we go higher and not lower? Because macro, fundamentally, we are in an uptrend, obviously. And one more important note for you guys, you don't even need to be good in macro or fundamental analysis. If you're good in chart analysis, you can call the button, the higher time frame button, as well pretty good, okay? Because obviously this looks like a nice round bottom here, year-long bottom. What happened here? The exact same, year-long round, nice bottom range, okay? Just like I showed you right here, range, broke out, look, range, sweep the highs, sweep the lows, corona crash, breakout, retest, breakout to the upside. Okay guys, so that's what happened right here at the lows. And you would have known that this is the low to buy purely based on chart analysis, even if you didn't know anything about the news, even if you never read news about silver, any news about macroeconomics and so on. So let's keep going forward. What will happen in the coming days? Will silver actually be able to reach $70 within this year? So for this, I draw a few trend line supports, okay? That's one trend line support. That's one trend line support. And we even got a trend line support on the lower time frame right here, okay? I draw my trend lines in a dotted line, so it is more, it highlights more from the horizontal lines, which are fully drawn, not dotted. I hope you understand what I meant. No original English speaker, no native English speaker. So yeah, for this, what do trend lines tell us? Trend lines tell us how big of a momentum we have right now in the price move, okay? The more extreme the trend line, the higher the momentum. For example, right now, we are on this higher time frame, in quotes, higher time frame trend line, which isn't that extreme, okay? Then we got another trend line, which is way more extreme, and another trend line, which is even more extreme. And as soon as this trend line, this smaller trend line, breaks, it's a signal for us that price is a little bit cooling off. Okay, it retests this one, keeps going higher. As soon as this one breaks, it gives us another signal that price is cooling off even further. The next support for the higher time frame momentum will be this trend line, okay guys? And then when this one will break, then we will see a actually bigger correction on silver. A correction which doesn't take a few hours, which doesn't take a few days or weeks, a correction which could take a few months or even a year, okay guys? Correction which could be like this, for example. So that's what the chart is telling us right now, and as long as we hold, in my opinion, as long as we hold this trend line or even this one, I expect silver to reach $70 by this year. Because when you go on with this trend line, then you can see this trend line will reach, this supportive trend line will reach $72 by December 19th, okay? Even this trend line will reach $70 by December 30, for example. So even this trend line, as long as we respect this trend line, we will most likely see $70 by the end of the year, which is pretty bullish, and pretty bullish for mining stocks as well. So let's check out our miners just for a few minutes. So in one of my first videos, I talked about Silvercorp Metals, Guanajuato Silver, and maybe Silver One Resources. I don't know it yet, but those are my three biggest mining stock positions right now, which are also my biggest portfolio positions right now, okay guys? And Silvercorp Metals, I told you to invest, of course do your own research and no financial advice, but this looks pretty bullish, this correction. I told you I expect this correction to break out to the upside, that this won't be a monthly long correction and this won't be the top, obviously, okay? Because the silver miners make immensely free cash flow with current silver prices, and they will make even more cash flow with the silver prices at around 70, 80, 90, $100. And imagine the stocks, okay, the mining stocks, which I'm going to talk about right now, Silvercorp Metals, Guanajuato Silver, and Silver One Resources, which is an explorer. Silvercorp Metals and Guanajuato Silver are junior miners. They aren't even at all-time high levels, but the silver price is well above its all-time high. So those junior stocks have a lot to catch up, a lot, and this will definitely happen in 2026 when the free cash flow will actually hit big, okay guys? So Silvercorp Metals is going pretty good. I also draw a few trend lines right here. On these trend lines, if you are actually convinced that Silvercorp Metals is a good investment, then you can actually start putting in some money on these trend lines, okay? Small investments, okay? Maybe invest 10% here, another 25% here. If it goes higher and correctly more, another 25%, like 25% of the amount that you are willing to invest in the stock, okay? Of your total amount you want to invest. So let's keep on going with Guanajuato Silver. And this stock, I made a dedicated video solely for this stock because I'm so convinced that this will go higher and make 5 to 10 or 20x. I will link this video right here on the top right corner. And guys, when I made this video, price was around here, okay? At around 26, 25, 23 cents per stock, okay? And we went up about 86% already. I'm in big profits from my investment position. And why was I so convinced that Guanajuato Silver will go higher? not just because of fundamental reasons. They also just bought another mining project from Endeavor Silver, which produced and will probably produce in the coming years 2 million ounces of silver per year, which is crazy amount of money, a crazy amount of profits, free cash flow for Guanajuato Silver. But not solely because of fundamental reasons. Of course, both ways as much as the other, okay, chart analysis and fundamental analysis, but because on the charts I saw a clear buying signal, okay guys? We had horizontal support, this is the range low, okay? And in this range low we had a smaller range, as you can see, range high, resistance, break above. What happens next? Resistance turns into support. What did happen? Support from the horizontal support zone, which is big support, and even momentum, trendline support. Those two met right here, confluence with each other, which is a massive support area then, okay, because we have two supportive lines meeting up at the exact same point. And what happened? We made a new high yesterday, okay, new local high. And in my opinion, Guanajuato Silver, I even called this dip with a few people who are following me on other social medias. But in my opinion, Guanajuato Silver will go higher, will break this high in 2026, will go above $1, probably will go above $2, okay? So where is a good entry point right now if you're not invested yet, and if you're gonna be convinced after your own research to buy a few amount of the stocks, okay? So the next support area obviously is this mid-level, okay? This mid-level is support with this down trend line, which was resistance before, now acts as support. This would be support. Or if we will see a bigger correction in the coming weeks, in the coming months, then I think that this trend line will hold as support as well, okay? Just like this, for example, okay guys? Maybe here as well, just like we had it here, those two support lines will be confluence with each other, and price will hit them when they hit each other as well, okay? There are no coincidences. Guys, I tell you, there are no coincidences. It's no coincidence that price comes right down here when those support lines meet as well. There will be no coincidence when price comes down when those two support lines will meet, okay? I'm not saying that this will happen, but I'm saying if this will happen, it won't be a coincidence. So this would be a nice buying opportunity if you're not invested yet. If price for no reason, okay, I don't know which reason would cause this, but if price will crash lower right now out of nowhere, then this will be a support as well. And it lines up with horizontal support, okay? Here you go. This was the small bottom area, yeah, on the lower time frame. The small reaccumulation before we broke out higher. So there is horizontal support and trendline support. And now let's go on to Silver One Resources. This one is a stock I think I didn't talk about, but I invested this in Explorer because they are gonna release their pre-feasibility study in Q2 in the summer of 2026, and I expect them to be pretty good. They got a lot of silver projects or ground in USA, and as you know, USA wants to be independent, so they will push it higher, and investors obviously, just based on this fact, will invest in Silver One Resources because they are US based. Okay, their headquarters is in Canada, but their projects are in US. So once again, there are no coincidences, guys. I drew this trend line like a couple months ago, honestly, a couple months ago, and where did price react yesterday after a big, immense pump? Right here, at this trend line, 31% pump, and where did price dump again? At this resistance trend line. So guys, I tell you once again, chart analysis is as important as fundamental and macro knowledge and analysis. And in my opinion, Silver One Resources, if we don't break out right now already with this momentum, then I think that going back to this support trend line will be a nice buying opportunity. But as always, do your own research, no financial advice. This is an Explorer company, so it's even more riskier than Guanajuato Silver or Silvercorp Metals investment. If you want to go all safe, then you just have to invest in silver mining ETFs. They cover a lot of top tier silver miners, and they will push higher as well. So this is more or less a risk-free investment if you invest in silver mining ETFs. But if you want to pick solo runners which will outperform the silver miner ETF, then Guanajuato Silver, Silver One Resources, or Silvercorp Metals are a few of them which I'm convinced will go higher. I have a lot more on my list which will outperform in the coming weeks and months, but so far those are the three I'm most convinced. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I would really appreciate if you leave a like and a follow for the channel, and then we'll see us in the next one. The next video will be about gold chart analysis and if gold can reach new all-time highs by the end of this year. Goodbye.